back to Beautiful Minds. Today we have a new friend joining us, DEEPA. So welcome to our show, DEEPA. DEEPA is a managing trustee of Kaumaram Prashanthi Academy. So nice meeting you, DEEPA. So could you go ahead and talk about yourself?
Yeah, it's pleasure to be here. And this is my second experience with WurkTV. In fact, during pandemic, I remember, we had an interview with Ravi. And thank you so much for this opportunity again. I'm DEEPA MOHANRAJ, founder and director of Kaumaram Prashanthi Academy. It's a school for children with special needs, and it's almost 16 years old.
Okay.
Yes, initially we started myself and one more parent, Annapurna Jairam, together. We started with our own kids. And today we have like more than 250 kids in our academy.
Wow.
And we also have branch in Tirupur. So we have children with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, global developmental delay, learning disabilities, and and many more such conditions. Yes, we have kids right from 3 years till 40 years of age.
Okay. So that's really a good thing, a wonderful thing what you are doing. And it's a good start.
Yeah, and I always love to introduce myself as a special mother. Yeah, it's because of Richie I'm here today, and Richie is a child with special needs. Yes, that's how it all began.
How old is Richie now?
Richie is now 18, but she will look like a 10-year-old girl. Yeah.
So how did your journey start? So it's all because of Richie that you started this institution, or how is it?
Of course, yes. As I mentioned, it's because of Richie. That's when I got to know there's a world like this. Until I had Richie, I really didn't have any idea about what, the world of special needs look like. And yes, when I had Richie, it was like 2002, and she was diagnosed with craniosynostosis when she was 1.5. So that's when I was in super depression, of course, like 3 months, almost more than 3 months. And I did have even suicidal thoughts. The day I accepted her completely is when that I thought, okay, I should do something for these children. I started to explore. Basically, it all began with I started to explore, the schools or whatever for these children, rehab centers, schools in and around Coimbatore. But it wasn't really, up to the mark, I would say. So that's when I thought, okay, why not? That's when I came across. Yes, that's how it all started, actually.
Yeah, so I was going through your profile and I had this come across, like I have come into your life so that you will know true happiness. So if you could explain this to us, that's really touching actually when I was going through that. So I wanted you to talk on that.
Yes, Adeline, actually she was sleeping and I was in the kitchen. I know she has already fallen asleep, but there was a voice. And it was in, our own language, Tamil. Amma, I know you're you're happy, but I've come to you to make you understand what true happiness is. And oh my god, I really got goosebumps. I don't know what exactly that was, or soul talk, or it was, I didn't know. I ran into the bedroom to check if she's sleeping or what is happening around me. So that's when I thought, oh my god, this is something beyond. And yes,
So,
that's how.
what are the struggles you went through when you wanted to start this institution?
Struggle, see, I was very young then, to be very frank. And as I told you, it's with again one more parent. We actually started with just 3 kids. And initially, yes, the struggle was like to look for, we didn't want to actually, come up with a exclusive building or infrastructure. We thought let's start in a very small way. Like we rented out a building, we wanted to rent out a building, and that was the first search. When we, went around the city to look for a house or something, the moment they got to know it's for children with special needs, they said no. That was the first struggle, to be very frank.
Yes.
And that didn't stop us. In fact, I then thought, like, okay, let's not stop with this, let keep on looking. And somehow finally we found one, and it all started in 2006 June. Then in 3 months, my mother-in-law passed away, and my father-in-law, he gave me a kind of like, Deepa, why don't you shift, you know, and take this house? Let me move into a rented building. I said, like, oh my God. And that was like, very big space,
Yes.
big house though. So then immediately I said, definitely, like, that then in like maybe in August or September is when we moved to that campus. Slowly, through word of mouth, we started getting kids in and around Coimbatore. And at one point, we had to rent 2 more houses close by. Then thought, like, I'm not going to stop here,
Yes.
because as a mother, that's when I just started to even, like, understand, that how big this special world is. Like, it's just not Richie. There are, n number of kids with different conditions. So I started to learn more about these children, like autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. And I also, as a person, I wanted to learn more about what are the facilities that are available across India. So if there's any seminar or conference, I wouldn't miss it.
Okay.
So that's how it all began, and I started to learn, explore. At one point, I realized just being a mother of a child with special needs is not going to, add more, like, it's not going to, I don't know how to put it
It's not
across.
enough, you know.
Exactly. That's when I thought I should do psychology. Then I chose psychology, masters. Now I'm like, I've done masters in applied psychology. That was like 8, 10 years back. Yes.
I must say, Richie has changed your life.
Completely transformed. It is just not,
Yes.
physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. The transformation happened just, in all aspects. I would rather put it that way.
Okay.
Yes.
So Deepa, I would also like to know, like, what are the special, facilities that are available in your school for these kids?
um as I mentioned, like, we have kids from 2.5 or 3 years till 40.
40.
Yes. So we have, like, early intervention, academics, pre-academic, academic, then pre-vocational, vocational. So this is like how we categorize kids according to their current performance level and age. Then when it comes to interventions, the kind of interventions that, we provide at our facilities, like occupational therapy, of course, special education, occupational therapy, communication therapy, computers, naturopathy department, where we have in-house naturopathy doctors, like, they do yoga, also therapies like dara, kili, all that also is happening. And we have art based therapy, music therapy, vocational unit, outdoor sports.
So they
And
have co-curricular activities as well.
yes, yeah.
That's really nice. So how are you able to
Basic,
manage these kids? Like, do they listen to you? Do they understand?
Adeline, believe me, It's a greatest blessing to be associated with, these children. They're just amazing. See, we are all born with, like, so much of purity, all of us for that matter, whether it is, neurotypical or special kids. You label whatever you label. We're all born pure, but as we grow up, we don't remain pure. But these children, they remain pure, they breathe last with the same purity in them, and they're full of love. They don't judge you, or like, they just vibrate so much of divine energy. I would put it this way, and it's just amazing. Few are verbal, like, they can talk, they can communicate, but there are many children who cannot communicate, who are non-verbal. So we have, alternate mode of communication where we teach them to communicate through pictures or iPad or gestures. There are n number of, like, yeah, alternate modes of communication. So it is like the moment they see me or I see the kids or the team, like, we greet each other, and there's so much of happiness. You should see them, the way they come to school with all smiles. And, like, even when we are something with occupied with some thoughts, the moment we see them, oh my god, believe me, that energy is just, see, as I talk about them itself, you can literally see the changes that, that's
I
happening.
myself have seen them in my daughter's school. Like in my daughter's school, there is a separate building for them. So I
Okay.
have been seeing them all these years coming happily to school and going back. And when they have the sports day and all, I've seen them dancing, singing. So I understand how it is. You
Yeah.
you just get tears when you see them performing on the stage.
Yeah, true, true. For us, it is like day in, day out. It's with them. It's just amazing. It's a greatest blessing that one can, ask
That's
for.
right.
Yeah.
So my next question for you was like how do you prepare the students, to mainstream school?
See, not all children can be mainstreamed. That is, like, something that we need to understand. But early intervention plays a vital role. For example, if we get a kid like at the age of 2.5, 3, and, if if the if with, like, if we start the interventions as early as possible, but like special education, and we prepare them with pre-readiness skill. If the child has to be mainstream, then the child has to have, like, um, you know should intimate, if, like, whatever, like, he or she should be able to communicate. And so these are the things, like follow instructions, should have attention span. These are something that, we always look for, and we start training the kids with pre-readiness skills. And once we feel that this child can be mainstreamed, uh, then we advise the parents, and we also advise the parents to look for some schools who are inclusive. Yeah. So likewise, in last 15, 16 years, we have mainstream more than 50, 60 kids in the mainstream. Yeah. Even, like, at the age of 10, we have mainstream them when we think like this child can, like, just not about academics. If the child is, like, able to communicate, and is his or her communication skill is good, social skill is good, then definitely the child needs a better environment. That's when we advise the parents, say, it is just not about academics. Let the child get an opportunity to be with the peer group in the mainstream. And maybe at one point, if we feel okay, not able to cope up with academics, then we can always pull the child out, or the remedial can be done. Remedial classes
That's
can
right.
happen simultaneously. So this is what we do here.
Okay. So like what syllabus do you follow in your academy?
See, when it comes to academics, it is like unified curriculum. The
Okay.
yeah, metric board, because so far we have, 2 batches have successfully completed 10th board exam.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also now, right now, have kids who are in grade 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, and, those have completed 10th. Now they are doing NIOS.
Okay.
Yes.
So Deepa, I have a video to play here. So I would like people to know, what are the awards what you have received, or how exactly you have been working hard for all this. I'll just play this video. Well, Deepa, that was really nice. That was an awesome
Thank you so
journey
much
that
for,
you had.
yeah, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. So I must say that you parents of special kids are really blessed, and you are the best mothers in the world.
True. Completely agree with that.
So going ahead, so how do you think we should spread awareness about this field?
Come again, sorry.
How do you think awareness about this field, so that the kids are educated and sent to school?
Okay. See, yes. See, awareness is today it is much better for what it was like 10 years back. Now the parents are like understand the value of early intervention as I mentioned. So nowadays we get to see kids coming at the age of 2.5, 3, and even where the intervention has already begun at the when the child is like few months old. So it is, I would definitely say there's like there is awareness when it comes to parents and the family of children with special needs. But when it comes to society, yes, there's a lot and lots to do. And when it comes to create a inclusive society, I think it's a long way to go, but we still, keep working towards it. When it comes to creating awareness among the public, we all usually organize something called special walkathon. It's like first edition happened in the year 2017, where we had about like 1,000 participants. Then we had in the year 2019, where we had about like 3,000 participants. And this year, maybe in the month of April, we may again we'll be organizing one such event again. Yeah, and yes, recently we did even have an event on Autism Day last year, where we did have people from different schools, regular schools, parents, children with special needs, and we did even have a district collector with us. So yeah, through such events, we somehow try to create some kind of awareness in the public. and about the importance of inclusive education as well. Yes.
So, Deepa, I have seen that you have been receiving a lot of awards like Woman of Impact, Soulmate Award, and one Wonder Woman. So, how do you feel when you receive all these awards?
To be very, to be frank, like, yes, of course, it's a kind of recognition that we
Yes.
receive for the kind of service that we've been rendering for, children with special needs for all these years. But I cannot have all that to myself. It's a teamwork.
Teamwork.
I just represent, I'm just the face of this whole team. That's it. So I cannot take any credit for myself. And, such recognition somewhere I feel gives some kind of visibility as well. And we have never applied for anything like that till date. It's just that somewhere people have identified us and the kind of work or service that we do, and that is the recognition that we have received in last few years. So it's like, yeah, feeling really good, and purely grateful for
Yeah, it's all about teamwork. So that is very important.
yeah.
So Deepa, now for example, now there's a child and then there is sibling as well for the child. So how do you think the sibling should treat a normal child and a special child? So what are the tips that you would like to give, to the sibling, how to treat them or take care of them?
Adeline, to be very frank, they are so damn mature. Siblings of special needs are way ahead, like what we actually think. We may think that we need to educate them about the child, about the condition of the child. Trust me, whether it's a sister or brother, they are just amazing.
Okay,
The acceptance comes even before, as parents, we do accept the child. That was the case in my own family. Like my older daughter, when I had Richie in my life, I neither me nor my husband couldn't accept the Richie, the condition of Richie. But it was my older daughter who in fact told me, Amma, look at her, she's actually smiling, she's doing this, she's doing that, do not cry, stop crying. So just not, I generally feel the siblings of special needs are very matured, and they're like, there's so much to learn, in fact, from them. They really take good care of their sibling. They also, nowadays I get to see the young kids, inviting their friends home, introducing, sibling to their own peer group. It's amazing. It's very healthy, actually, in fact. So I don't think I should, tell them anything, or it's just that we learn a lot from these kids, actually. Yeah.
that's really really very nice to know. So Deepa, like how do you fund your school when it comes to funding?
It's an NGO basically.
Okay,
See, before pandemic, we did have, one or two corporate supporting us.
okay,
But the reality now, the current scenario is we don't have any sponsors. And and we do have fee structure,
okay,
but most of the kids are under sponsorship. Like more than 70% of the kids are under sponsorship. So what we basically do is, it's the family that is supporting. If not, it would have been really difficult to sustain in this field for last 15, 16 years. Apart from them, we have good, friends, well-wishers, who are really supporting us. Like, they adopt a child. Okay, let me, take care of this particular child's, fees. Maybe it could be academic or therapy, anything. All those little things really,
does
mean a
help.
lot to us. Yes. But currently, post pandemic, though it is like CSR is mandatory for the corporates, no, I think we need to work on it. And yes, we are in need of support. Yes.
Yes. So friends, all those who are watching this show, I would like you to, if you're ready to sponsor a child, or, if you're ready to help, so please connect with Deepa, and do connect with them, so that you can at least help one soul over there. So that will be really grateful and a great blessing for, for us in our personal life as well. So
And
anything else that you would like to tell to our audience, Deepa?
um, see, all every time in most of my interviews, this is one thing that I always request the public or the society. Whenever you get to see a child, whether in some public places, like it could be a mall or theater, a park, or just on the road or in a departmental store, anywhere. If the child throws some tantrum, or if the family is finding some kind of difficulty handling the child, do not look at the child or the parents in a weird way. It really, really bothers. And as parents, we feel helpless already handling the child with, settling down the child with the tantrum, all that. So all you could do is just either walk away quietly, or please try to, um, ask them for some time. Like it could, whether, they could be of some help. That itself is a big, big, big support. I definitely want to say this as a mother, also as a professional, and as an individual. Yeah. I think it is our responsibility, individual responsibility, to embrace the difference. All of us are unique. Nobody is like, though we call ourselves as neurotypical or normal, we are dependent for something or other in our lives.
Yes.
There's a degree that, varies here when it comes to special needs. And so let's, be very kind to oneself, to others, embrace the difference, and make this place, a better place for such kids. Yeah, that is all that I always ask for, request.
Yes, that's right. Well, Deepa, it's really proud, and I'm very proud to have you on our show the second time, but it's wonderful talking to you. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming on our show. I hope audience watch this show and they come and help you in whatever small ways that they can.
Yeah.
So thank you so much once again. And thank you,
Thank you,
friends, for
Ashley.
watching our show.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye.